Hello, everybody. Welcome back. My name is Monique, and I'm on a financial health journey to create an inheritance for the generations to come. And I want to do that through consistency and discipline. Today, we're here to cover very quickly a budget closeout for the month of December. And then to just introduce how I'm going to be tracking some of my additional financial sheets or information for 2024. I'd like to thank everybody who's liked or commented on any of my videos, and to those that have subscribed. I really appreciate it. I started this as a way to hold myself accountable, but I do understand, recognize, and appreciate the community as a whole. So if you decided to take this journey with me, thank you, thank you, thank you. I have a video out. It's my last cash stuffing. I think it was for $110. I say that because it's actually in the title of the video. It's where I announce my subscriber giveaway process that I'm following. If you haven't watched that video, please go ahead and look at it, or watch it, view it. It gives you the instructions and what you needed to do as far as the comment section in order to qualify for the savings challenge tracker that I am offering as support or thank you for reaching 250 subscribers. There are a few things that you have to, as far as requirements are concerned, that you have to be willing to do. And so if you guys see that, please feel free to go ahead and comment on it. I'll be looking at that at the end of next week, after I do my budget with me and get my next paycheck that's due on February the 8th, 9th, 10th, somewhere up in there, is when I'll go back and look at that savings or savings challenge video to see who has wanted to, enter their name, I guess, in the hat for the savings challenge tracker at that point. So it will have been open for 2 weeks at that point, and then I'll go ahead and announce the winner. So if you're interested in that, please feel free to go ahead and look at that video, listen to the information that's provided, and make sure that you're commenting with the right information down below on that. So we will go ahead and get started now. I want to try and hold this video to about 15 minutes at the most. So let's see how far we can get. So one of the things that I've shared is that I am a digital planner, and that I use, right now I'm using the Breezy Organization Customizable Life Planner for 2024. I have moved to a landscape view, and we'll talk about that in a second because it is important. For that, just to make sure that with this iPad mini, that as I'm recording videos, you all are able to see the information a lot more clearer. But also with that, I was having some struggles because I have some additional forms that I created that I've been using around budget overviews, tracking my monthly spend as far as my variable expenses was concerned, my credit worksheet that I use for my budget closeout, etc. And I've been trying to find a way of getting all of that information all together in a place that looks more cohesive, and makes better sense for the way that I track my budget. With that said, the Breezy Organization has a Finance Pal, and that's what you're seeing here. And so I got the Finance Pal. I'm not sure. I think there are two different versions. One that's portrait, one that's landscape. I did get the landscape one, although we're looking at it right now in a portrait view, and that's on purpose. And then I'll show you kind of how this will work with my other pieces, as far as my digital planner is concerned and how I track my finances. So with that said, this is the Finance Pal. The coloring that you see here, I did that my own. It doesn't come looking that way. You can make it your own. But I do want to cover each of these items because what I have found that's important for this is that it gives you all different types of categories where you can track information as needed. And if you don't need it, then you just don't use it, right? So let me cover real quickly what these categories look like and the types of information that I am keeping. So the first one is budget. Hope you guys can see that. So when I go to the budget, let's go. Oh, my pen turned off. And I think that is the reason why. There you go. All right. So let's go to budget. So under budget, every month I'll be able to track all of the different bills that I have. I have them separated out. So this encompasses all of the things that I feel like are needs that I cover as far as cost is concerned. I'm able to track the date, the item, the budget amount that I'm for that particular piece, and then what I actually paid and then check it off. And you'll notice here that you have JFM, so January, February, March, etc. So this is the January look, and I copied this page and made a secondary page to make sure that I could cover all of the expenses that I have. I'm going to come out just a little bit more so you guys can see the full effect there. But also it moves into February, March, etc. So I'll be able to track all of these together. I separated out my bills that I have first by what I feel like is needed. So that's what you see here. All right. And then next are all those wants that I have. They're things that if I needed to get rid of anything, I could. And I felt like that was important because at the end of the day, there might be some times that I need to make some adjustments. I recently had to make some adjustments, as you guys know, if you've watched any of my previous recent videos. But I'm able to make adjustments here more so than I'm able to make here. You'll also notice that some of these have a specific day in mind, and that's if that bill is being paid monthly. But if there is a bill and it's only due quarterly or it's only due yearly, I actually write in what that date, the next date for that payment is due. And although I have it here in January, it's for me to keep tracking. So what I don't want to do is forget that trash will be due sometime in February and property insurance will be due sometime in March. The best way for me to do that is every month I copy this and paste it to the next month so that I always keep it in my mind that those are going to be due. So I have my bills that I feel like I have to take care of. Those are priority. These are the discretionary ones that are listed here. And then the next page has my debt. So my debt is listed here separately. So all three of those categories will always be tracked for every month. One of the things I do like about this Finance Pal is that you do have hyperlinks. And so when I hit that corner, it takes me back to the original page. Next is expenses. This is a category I don't need because I'm tracking the information other places. So like I said before, if you have it, you can have it. If you don't need it, you don't have to worry about it. What's cool about it, though, is you can track your dates, your item, your amount, and then you'll notice here, was it a need or was it a splurge? So if you have times where you are spending and you're trying to track whether or not this really was a necessity or just something I really just wanted to do, you would be able to track that information here if that makes sense for you and your budget. Next is overview. I'm going to leave that one to last and you'll see why. I have a bill tracker here too. And I love this because this is where you're going to mark off every time that has been covered. So now I have another view as far as my bills are concerned and how I'm tracking to make sure that those things are taken care of. One of the good things about this as well is, like I mentioned before, sometimes a bill is due every quarter or sometimes a bill is due every year. So for example, if you see here, and I'll go in just a tad bit so you can see. If you see here, I have an AMC premiere and it's due in July. So you'll notice here, I grayed out all January, February, March, April, May, and June. I left open July and then I grayed out the other ones. And this is my cue that this bill is due in July. I'm not worrying about it before then. Trash is different. It's every quarter. So February is open. March and April grayed out. May is open, etc. So that's how I'm tracking those bills that are due quarterly or those things that are due yearly. Okay. Next, that was bills. Next is debt. So this is where I listed out all of the debt that I have. You'll notice here I've got Kohl's. How much is due for Kohl's when it's due. It's auto. And here's where I will track all of the payments that I make for the year here for all of them. So they'll all be wrapped up together under one, as opposed to having them all separated out just in that paycheck budget view. I now will have a yearly view that's available for all of the debt that I've got. Next is savings, and I really like this one. So savings is, what are those things that are important to you that you're really trying to save up for so that you can keep it in the forefront of your mind? What I love about this is there are two things that I've decided that I wanted to do. I want to clear some land that I own that my dad left for me, and I'm guessing it's going to be about $2,000 to clear. I want to have that done in January of 2025. And what I love about it is, and it was one of the ideas that the young lady for Breezy organization had as a idea that you could use to try and help motivate, is actually including a picture there, so you never lose sight or focus of what it is that you are saving for. So clearing the property, and then next I want to fix and complete my fence. I'm figuring about $1,500. I want to maybe have that done by September. So this is a good way for me to track my savings that I want to have for specific events. All right, so we'll go back to the initial page. Then you have envelopes. These are my variable expense envelopes that I have: groceries, gas, spending, home. And I think I'm going to add dining back in at some point. It's out right now just because of the changes I've had to make and the adjustments I've had to make financially, but we might add that back in. So I went ahead and added it here. Plus, there are some savings challenges that I'm also tracking here as well that are important to me. All of these are hyperlinks. So when I click on groceries, it takes me to when I stuffed that envelope with $130 for this last week, and then the money that I spent. So when I went to Kroger, how much I spent. I went back to Kroger again, how much I spent. And so I'm keeping track this way. Now, great thing about this particular tracker is, if you look here at the bottom, you have two different hyperlinks now available. One that takes me back to envelopes, which is the main envelope page, or if I wanted to go back to the main home page, I could then hit my corner view right there and it takes me back here. Just depends on what it is that you would want to do. All right, next is those envelopes, sinking funds. So I have 12 sinking funds, which is awesome because all of them are available right here, and the same thing applies. So I used some money from deductibles. My daughter is sick and I needed to buy some medication. So here I'm able to track that I took that $30 out, what my remaining balance is, and I can get back to my sinking funds view here, or I can do the same thing, hyperlink to the main page from here. So I'm tracking my sinking funds on here as well. My subscriptions, I haven't written these out in or typed these out yet, so they're just manually written in, but these are all the subscriptions that I have. Again, if I need to make any changes or updates and I need to get rid of anything, this is going to be my first look or view of the things that I might change. And then goals. So I'm not using the goals right now. I have my goals written in another place, so I'm not having to use this page necessarily. So again, this was a way, and I saw this on the Breezy organization site, and this was a way for me to track my finances and do it in a way that makes sense for me, where everything is housed together. And what I like about it, and this is why they call it a finance pal. So if I have, let's go here, and I'm going to say open it in a new window. So now it's in a separate window. I'm going to turn this long way. So remember I said to you that I've got my main digital planner that has my finance sheets over here. I'm going to make this a little bit smaller like that. And what I can do now that I could not do before. So let's go here. Let's go to index, January. I'm going to go to my finance sheet. All right. So now what I can do is I can have my finance sheet up, or even my calendar. I can have my calendar view up, as you guys can see right here. And I can pull up my budget view on this side. So I'll zoom in a little bit closer so you guys can see. And this is what I feel like I was missing overall that I now have with having this finance pal. It sits over here on the side. I'm able to look at my January calendar, and I can compare now and say, make sure that I have all of my bills for the first here. I have everything for the 5th, for the 10th, the 13th. Make sure that I have everything documented here. Go to my subscriptions, do the same thing. Make sure that they are outlined here, as well as my debt, for example. So I have those there. 5th, Nelnet needs to be paid. Allie needs to be paid on the 11th. So I'm just able to track things a lot easier. Then if I know that check has cleared or a draft has come out, I can always then come over here and make sure that I document those down as well. So if I needed to, let's say, go here and I wanted to come out to where my bills tracker is, I'm able to mark off. All right, there go your mortgage right there. And that check has cleared. So let's mark that off for January. My electric cleared, AHS cleared, my ring cleared, etc. So I'm able to track those, and I can have both views available at the same time. And I can just tell you this has helped a lot. And I know it will continue to help because I've had already an additional expense for lawn treatment that I forgot about. I'd already told Sean to come, so he came. There wasn't any reason for him to communicate with me any differently because I didn't change anything as far as our communication back in December or November when I told him that I would be ready for him to start again at the beginning of the year. So luckily, I did have a little bit extra when I did my budget with me for December that I left in that account, in my bills account, and I did not make plans for that money. So when he came through for the lawn treatment for $55 on yesterday, I had it available, but I had to go in. That's when I started to do all of this. So I'm like, I've gone in, and now for lawn treatment, you'll notice here, I need to mark that off. So I need to say here, you know what? I did go ahead and get some work done. And for right now, I'm just going to mark it in black. And so I will color that in to show that for January, I've already taken care of that. And now I need to count out 7 weeks because he comes every 7 weeks. And that looks like it's going to be closer to the end of February, middle to end of February, that I'm going to need to make sure that I have it included as the next time that the lawn treatment will be due. So my hope is that this helps me to keep track a lot better and I don't end up having these unexpected expenses, especially right now when my finances are a little tight. So there you go. So I wanted to provide kind of what this Finance Pal is doing for me. I don't know if anybody else out there is using the Finance Pal that's also a part of the budgeting community. If so, and you have any additional advice to share or recommendations to share, please feel free to include those in the comments. All right, so I'm going to move that one over out of the way. And then now that we're just looking at the Finance Pal, let me cover the last thing that I have, and that is going to be the overview. So the overview was the final piece to this that I have not talked about. Yeah, there you go. All right, so the overview. So for December, Bill's Buffer has $285 in there. Roth IRA is at $103 and public investment is at $56. I did not document yet my 401k. I've never tracked it before. For 2024, I am going to track it. So I don't have that amount now for the end of December, but I will have it for my January budget closeout. Here are my debts that I have. I still have them separated out. Remember, I try to do private label, general purpose, and debt installment as separate categories. My Best Buy and Rooms to Go are at 0, and I've left both of those open. I will continue to do so as well. So one of the things that we talked about before was that I have my credit. I wanted to look that over and see where I was as far as my credit history was concerned when I closed out that last Credit One card. I did see a decrease about 8 points in my credit score. So I said I was going to see how things looked at the end of December to determine whether or not I was going to close that Best Buy. I am going to leave it open for right now. I took one hit. Don't want to worry about taking another one right now. So we're going to leave that one as is. So Best Buy Rooms to Go is at 0. Kohl's, I'm still at a balance, 25.27, and hopefully I can tackle that in 2024. We will see. Discover is at 33.72. Alley is at 4.63. And then for Green Sky, 57.28. Nelnet, the student loans here, 28.69 and 86.75. And then Bridgecrest is at 27.144. So I have Penny Mac here, $110,019 that I still owe for that one. I have it grayed out though because I am not including that in my consumer debt because I've already shared. I know I'm not going to pay this house off. That's not a part of my whole debt journey that I've got going on right now, or financial health journey. Let me say that instead of debt journey. So let me come out just a little bit so we can add up some of these numbers. In November, my total debt showed as $50,533 for the consumer debt. So everything minus the penny Mac. All right. Let's move this over. Let's see where I am now. 2527, 3372, 463, 5728, 2869, 8675, 27144. That didn't do right. Let's try it again. Was that hitting equal the whole time? That's possible. 8675, 27144 equals. There you go. All right. 5778. And remember, I did open up this Ally account in December. So that's about right. $50,778. Alrighty. There you go. And that's my total for December on that. All right. I'm gonna come out a little bit. So that's the way my finance overview looks. And then my monthly overview looks like this. And this is for variable expenses. So for December, I made some changes. That's why I don't have any averages as far as what my goal was, because at one time my groceries, I wanted to do 120 and then I moved it to 130. And then I combined dining into spending and during the month of December. So it's all over the place. So with that said, I've decided to just add up all of my totals for now, and then we'll go forward in January with what my new goals are. But it was too difficult to figure out here. So for groceries, I spent a total of $517. That's not bad. That averages 517 divided by 4. Why is this not working? 517 divided by 4. There you go. So I'm averaging about $130 a week for groceries. Spending $198 divided by 4. I'm averaging about $50 a week as far as spending is concerned. I think I want to be more so around about $30 if possible. 91 for gas divided by 4. I'm averaging about $23 a week, and really I have a little fluff in there because I'm at about 40 is my average, or what I'd like to spend, about 40, no more than $40 a week. For home, that's at 182 divided by 4. 45.50 for average, and that's about right. I try to spend about $50 a week for home or household supplies. Dining is going to be a little off, like we talked about just a minute ago, just because I've done some combining, etc. But this 146 was for 3 weeks. So let's just do 3 weeks. And that's about $49, which is about right. I said about $50 at the most. At the time, I wanted to spend on dining. So I'm hitting, that's my way of understanding that I'm hitting close to what I felt like my averages would be, even though it's kind of difficult to say for sure if I hit it every week because I kept changing what the amounts are. But on average, that's what we're looking at. So when you add all of those numbers together for the month of December, I spent $1,134. $1,134 for the month. Let's divide that by 4 weeks, and I'm averaging about $284 a week in spending. And before now, I was at about $320 a week is what I wanted to have as my goal. I've now moved that goal to $250 a week. So I'm not too far off. I still got a little bit more managing to do, but overall not looking too bad. So This is my view. This is what I'll be using going forward, is this Finance Pal. And like I mentioned before, the reason why I moved to this is so that I have a way of having this view up and over to the side at the same time as I could have another view up. So if I go here, split view, and pull this up, I can just move that over to the side a little bit, and I'm still able to look at my finances at the same time as I am also able to look at my budget overall and the information that I have there. So there you go. I think that is all for today. Join me again for my budget with me that I'm going to have later on this week. And again, please, please, please go and check out the Savings Challenge video that I have posted and commented there if you'd like to add your name to the pool for the 250 subscriber giveaway. Thanks, everybody. You guys have a good one.